Good evening, good evening, good evening. What a game. Sunderland 2, Arsenal 2. The question is, did we drop 2 points or did we gain 1 point? And yeah, man, this is a very, very hard pill to swallow. Am I disappointed? Of course I am. Um, we've been so hard to beat over the last couple of games. The last defeat we had, in fact, the one defeat we had was against Liverpool, and we had a draw against Manchester City. But before we go any further, hit the like on Cannon Fodder and also on Guna Matters, streaming simultaneously all the way from South Africa, Cape Town. I'm the host, Glenwyn. Big ups to Alex. Big ups to the Guna Matters family, the Cannon Fodder family. Big ups to all of y'all. And yeah, let's see how this is gonna pan out. It's not gonna be a very long show. It's gonna be probably maximum 30 minutes. If not, depends where we're gonna go. So hit the likes, share the video, subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV as well as to Guna Matters, and also have your say coming to the live chat. And yeah, come talk to us about the dropped points by Arsenal. So yeah, starting with the lineup, we had obviously we had no striker per se in Victor Gyökeres. Other than that, we had a full strength team: Raya in goal, Timber at right back, Saliba, and Gabriel center. And of course, Ricardo Calafiori on left back, Trossard up left, Rice and Zubomendi up in the middle, Saka out wide, and of course, Eze number 10 and Merino in the number 9. Very good squad. I think we had that same squad in midweek, whereby we beat Sparta Prague convincingly 3-0. And we had a bad, or rather a slow start to this game, where Sunderland has not lost a game at the Stadium of Light so far. And they have shown why they did not lose a game thus far, and deservedly so, because they pressed high. They attack in 4, they defend in 5s. Yeah, big ups to Sunderland, and also a very big shout to former captain and Arsenal player Granit Xhaka. So Granit Xhaka had a hell of a game against us. He was kept quiet for most of the game, but when he had the ball, he obviously had some sort of say in that. There was a very physical game. I mean, the ball was in play for just over 40 minutes. If you consider 90 minutes of football, the ball was played over just over 40 minutes in play. There was a couple of stoppages in the first half. I mean, 4 or 5 minutes with Marino's head injury, and then again Timbers. Also, just before halftime, there was also a lengthy spell where he was down with a head injury, and 9 minutes was obviously 9 minutes was added on in the first period. So did we play well? No, we did not. Did we deserve the draw? We probably deserved more of a loss than anything else. But we fought back. We got one back the second half, and then we got on to grab the lead. And in the last second, dying of the second half, the equalize. In my opinion, I will get to that now. Is that we shouldn't have conceded that goal, but we did. And of course, the first goal, I think we were too flat-footed. Flat-footed in the sense where Timber should have come in more to help out in the back post, because Saliba, if you look at the play, Saliba was looking where he was, so he couldn't commit himself to the center, whereby uh, the, the 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 goal the first goal came from. And then of course it was for him too late for him to react onto that shot. If he was in that center, he probably clears the ball, but Timber was too slow to come into the back post and pick up that last man for Sunderland, and then he had to stagnate his run, obviously, before making an attempt to stop the ball, and 1-0 to Sunderland. And we tried to fight back. We had a lot of possession. We tried to do what we could, and we went into halftime obviously with only this one goal. So we haven't conceded a goal since the Newcastle game. That was 9 games ago. We won that game 2-1, and since then we went on a very full big run in terms of winning goals by a 1-0, by a 2-0, by a 4-0, by a 3-0 in all competitions. And it had to be Sunderland in the Stadium of Light, whereby we concede our first goal. What a game to concede it in. It was a very, very huge, big game for us to extend our lead again by 10 points and 9 points of our contenders, which brings Sunderland into third, I think. But yeah, it's a game that you want to forget very, very quickly, because the narrative is going to be out there now is that Arsenal has started to bottle the league. I said it the last time, it's never our game or our league to bottle. If we have not won it, we have not been up there for so long. I mean, there was never talks about Arsenal bottling the league when Liverpool was 4 or 5 points clear in the first 5 6 games of the season. Now that Arsenal has been up there, the people's gonna say Arsenal has bottled the league. Yeah, you know what? It's the second draw. Last season we have seen so much draws already, 15 I think in total. So far it's our second draw. We conceded our fifth goal of the season in one game. It's never happened the season so far. This is the first time that we concede 2 goals and 2 defensive error goals, if I may say that. So yeah, I mean, it's not a good um, feeling to have. It's a very, very bitter pill to swallow. Um, yeah, I'm very disappointed in our defense. However, um, you can't fault one player at this stage. It is the team effort. We've defended well as a team, and we attack well as a team, and at the same time we concede as a team. Although you can point out some elements of the game whereby certain players could have done better. Argument's sake, Raya could have stayed on his line for the second goal. He didn't have to commit because Gabriel was there. So if Gabriel was there, he should have stayed on his line. And if the shot came in like it did, he was supposed to obviously then probably would have saved that ball if he stays on the line. But ifs, buts, and maybes. That's unfortunately how it didn't happen. And we conceded the second goal and we dropped 2 points, in my opinion. So Sunderland 2, Arsenal 2, 2 points dropped. And that's the name of the game. There is a couple of chats here. Let's go see. That's good evening, English. He says point drops. Hello all. Points drops. I agree with you. Only Arsenal can beat Arsenal. The Premier League is theirs to lose. I wouldn't agree with that. The Premier League is there for anybody to win. It's not ours to lose, unfortunately. I don't agree with that statement. And anybody that says that, obviously that's your opinion. The league is there for the taking. The league is there for us to win it, not for us to lose it. It's not our league yet. If you come in March, April, and we are 10 or 8 points clear, from there I would say it is ours to lose, because then you only have a couple of games left. But 11 games into the season is not never ours to lose. I don't agree with that. Unfortunately, English, um, it's Arsenal's to lose. That's an incorrect statement. That is an agenda, and that is unfortunately a poor analysis of the Premier League. 11 games in, and it's Arsenal's to lose. No ways. I don't agree with that. Good evening, Vinci. How are you, my man? Tough match. We were not in control midfield. Xhaka had a beast of a game. I was impressed with their tenacity in attack. Yeah, no, for sure. I said it early on, Vinci. They have not lost the game at the stadium, and they've given their all, knowing what to expect. They obviously pressed very high. They pressed fast. They closed us down in the first 5 minutes. They didn't give us any time on the ball. And of course, like you say, Xhaka had a beast of a game. I think when we started to get our mojo, he was a bit quiet. And I think we should have had more pressing time on him in the last couple of minutes as they pressed, because everything went to him. You have to have someone just pressing on the wheel while the rest is defending. So yeah, it's a tough match. It's a tough stadium to go to, and I always knew um, it's going to be a tough game, but I never thought it's going to be a draw. Evening, man. So yeah, for me, I think people creating this narrative as Arsenal's to lose. Um, the pundits of the mainstream media and rival fans, obviously, they are obviously trying all sorts of things. When Arsenal didn't concede, they they talked about everything else just to bring us down. Look, that's up to them. But the mainstream media that have such a huge following are pushing something which is never true. And I will always push back to the mainstream media. When it comes to fans, obviously, rival fans will banter. They will have the opinion like English have. Yes, it's your opinion, and I mean, your opinion matters. But your statement doesn't hold any water this time of the season, my friend, because it is only 11 games in. You can be on the top, but you can never win the league in November. Never. People say that we've won the league in October. No, you can't. You know what? I would want to win the league that early in the season, but it's never possible because there's so much football to be played. And to suggest that it's ours to lose in November, 11 games in, that's a very poor analysis. But it's your opinion, and I am very much I'm happy for you to have such an opinion. Some huge defending on both sides during injury time. Yeah, great to see. No, for sure, we are a very defensive team, and I think we've lost a little bit of that. However, we are still top of the league. We're still 6 points clear. Well, it's not 6 points. I think it is. Let's see. I didn't see the league table. Let's see where we are now. Let's see the table. We are on 26 points. Man City, who will still play tomorrow, is on 19 points. So, is that 7 points clear? Yeah. 7 points clear on the top. Sunderland is also on 19 points. Tottenham on 18, which they also gave a draw away this afternoon. And Liverpool on 18. So, Man City plays Liverpool tomorrow. And who knows what happened in that game. Somebody will win, or somebody will lose. And if it's a draw, that's in our favor. However, we don't have to know, or rather, we don't have to concentrate on what they do. We have to now go into this international break, and let's work on our shortcomings of this particular game. Where did we fail? Where did we go wrong? Because when we come back from the international break, we go into a North London derby against Spurs at home, and then we're facing Bayern Munich at home, and then we're going away to Stamford Bridge at Chelsea. So we've got the next couple of games after the international break is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You arguably say 6, 7 games. Very, very tough. And then, of course, we have to get through that. So, considering how Sunderland has broke through our defense for the first time after 9 games, we're going to have some serious, serious, serious deliberation on our season and what has happened. Um, a fat a fat a fat ninja. I have goodness, a fat ninja. Welcome. Well, it has had to happen sometime. Sunderland are a tough team this season so far, and you are right. I mean, they have shown against all teams. Um, we all teams that's gone there has really had a tough time. And it was quality players or quality teams that really has gone there. So they have the heart, they have the fans behind them, and of course the technicality and the physicality of a manager that has been brought into the team. So yeah, at least it had to happen sometime sooner or later. Best it happened while we're on top and while we are still 7 points ahead at this stage by tomorrow until the next teams are playing. But who knows? We can still continue with 7 points on into the next game after the international break. Would you say it was a 0.1 opposed to 2 points drop? It's 2 points drop altogether, Vinci, because we went there to go win. We obviously go into any game to win. And for considering for the record that we have had over the last couple of games, not conceding since the Newcastle game, we had 9 games, 8 games without conceding. 4 of those games, we only conceded 2 chances on target. Surely this is 2 points dropped. So I think our form has suggested we needed to win a game like this. Sunderland, I mean, just listen to the Manchester United fans gonna come out and say that they have beaten Sunderland. That is unfortunately the banter that's gonna come with this draw. But it just doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I think we had to look at where we went wrong. I think our midfield were a bit too slow, and I think to be fair, Zubamendi being on the yellow card couldn't do much off tackles because he was bound to that yellow card. But I also think Mikel Arteta should have done maybe better in changing a bit of things to not put pressure on him to make a different decision to tackle players because he wasn't able to do tackles that he needed to and should have done. English, it is said we Arsenal fans are the most emotional. Gunnar matters your too. No, it's not about emotion, my brother. It's all about the fact that is unfortunately that. Whether you are emotional, that is on you. I'm not an emotional fan. I'm very open-minded about it. But it is just the fact that there's so many things that are pushed by mainstream media pundits, former football players. Yes, because it's probably fair for everybody to say the things they are saying because we have not won anything for the last 5 years. But that doesn't mean they must push an agenda. These guys are getting paid so much money to have their unbiased opinions about about any football team for that. But because Arsenal has been phenomenal in their set plays, can score open play goals, has been defensive. They just pushed the narrative that Arsenal has started to change the league, the playing style of the league. Everybody is doing long throws. Arsenal started it. Everybody is doing set piece plays. Arsenal started it. Everybody is trying to do this and that and the other. Arsenal started. And that's the narrative that they're pushing, and it's not the truth. These things has been done for years in football. It's just we found a way to make it part of our game, and then that is the the basic truth about it. Being emotional, that's on you, my bro. If you are emotional, that's totally on you, and I respect that. I can't say that I'm an emotional fan. At times I am, but I'm just calling out the facts because that's unfortunately what I see it is. It is facts because if you go look at the mainstream media, which I don't really care about it, I'm just mentioning it because that is what it is. Every mainstream media, Talk Sport, Sky Sport, the Overlap, there's so many other platforms whereby the mainstream media, Monday Night Football for that, Carragher, Neville, other Simon Jordan's, a couple of people that are saying things that I believe an agenda pushing to say that Arsenal, because they can't say anything else about Arsenal. They are doing well. They have done well this season, and it's now a thing of it's Arsenal's to lose. That is not a accurate analysis of the game. It's the 11th game, the 11th hour, if you could say something like that. You can't win the league in the 11th game. Now it is Arsenal's to lose. That's more of an emotional statement than anything else, my friend. We all have a right to our opinion. You think the media are against Arsenal based on what? No, I'm not saying they're against Arsenal. They're pushing narratives whereby I'd rather expect from the fan bases, rival fans, as banter. Mainstream media shouldn't banter. I mean, if you look at Jason Kandi and O'Hara, they banter as the mainstream media supposed to be unbiased. Carragher is making statements of Arsenal are to this or to that, um, and giving a, an analysis of a game where they're not conceding chances at goal, they're not conceding goals, and they are winning games, and they still have something negative to say about Arsenal, and that is unfortunately the truth. That is not. That's. I'm not saying they're against Arsenal. I'm saying that they're making statements and pushing a narrative that is not supposed to be coming from them. Should come from the Liverpool fans. It should come from the Tottenham fans. It should come from the rival fans because they don't have the money that are paid for unbiased analysis of a game. If you watch any Sky Sport platform, Talk Sport platform, if you watch those things, what do they talk about? They're pushing narratives, which is not fair to our team. It's not saying that they are against us. We came back twice in the game, and the chances that they had, it was a huge result. No, for sure. I mean, we came back in the game. We were supposed to win that game. We had to see it out, and I think not kicking the ball further up the pitch, just clear the ball. If you don't have anybody up front, just clear the ball and start pushing again. And that is what we should do, and as we have done it in previous games. Can Arsenal win the league? Yes, they can. That is a fair question, and they can do it. Are they going to do it? That remains to be seen. We have not done it. We don't have evidence in the latter stage of the season that we can mentally go over the line. We can do it physically with our talent and our pace and our football ability, but mentally, that is some question that we don't have any evidence of, because previously we were 200 and odd games ahead on top, and it was said we bottled it. And again, it came down to mentality. And that stage, we did not have any experience of getting us over line because of that business end of the league. Now we have a bit of experience with the players from that year, from 3 seasons, 4 seasons ago. Now we can win the league with our ability. We can win the league with our form that we currently have. The only question is, can we do it do we have the mentality to do it? And that is unfortunately, there's no evidence of that. That we've never been in that situation to be able to push ourselves mentally and have the experience to get us over the line, because now it's a time for us to show that we have that. So if you say something negative about Arsenal, is that an agenda? No, that's not. You need to listen to the context English. I've explained it again. I mean, I'm not gonna just make this show about an agenda. All I've said was they pushing a narrative which they're not supposed to, because they are paid pundits. They get paid millions for a year from Sky Sports, from Talk Sports, from wherever they are. But they're pushing narratives. That's not an agenda. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they should be unbiased in their analysis. They give us a very short-handed compliment to say that Arsenal are doing well, they are the team to beat. That's a very short-handed analysis, but in the same time, the same breath, they are talking negative about Arsenal that are doing well, and how they find something to be negative about. So that is not an agenda. I mean, you have to listen to the context what I'm saying. So they don't have an agenda, but they not push. They should push unbiased analysis of a particular game of Arsenal, but don't make it up to be a full season, because now it is Arsenal's to lose. Who says that? That comes from the mainstream media. It's Arsenal's to lose. That can never be. I mean, when City and Liverpool were in similar situations early in the season, it was never theirs to lose. So the comparison is what they're saying about Arsenal is now ours to lose in 11 games in. That's not pushing an agenda or having an agenda against Arsenal. That's pushing a narrative to become a negative analysis of whatever game Arsenal is playing. So no, it's not an agenda. So yeah, I mean it's very small margins that we've seen tonight's game, and going forward, like I said, um, we're gonna have to really look at what we've done wrong, where we've gone wrong, what the manager should have done, what he could have done better, perhaps should have. Was he supposed to bring in fresh legs, maybe up front in that latter stage of the game, whereby we can press the goalkeeper, press Zaka, press somebody that has the ball in their half and pushing that long ball, or coming and trying to attack us, and all sorts of things. There's always something to be done. We conceded one goal, and we shouldn't have conceded the second. So, in my opinion, it was a very poor performance in terms of our defense. But we live to fight another day. Um, Next week is going to be the international break, and then we're playing Spurs on the 23rd of November, or 22nd or 23rd of November. And then, of course, we're going to take it from there, 23rd of November. So, yeah, again, hit the like on Cannon Fodder TV. Also, subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV and do exactly that same thing by hitting the like, and, of course, subscribe to Guna Matters. Good evening, assembled. Welcome. Now, the question remains to be seen. Can Arsenal, I mean, English asks, can Arsenal win the league? And my answer is yes, we can. That is the answer, the question. Can we win the league? And my answer is yes, we can. Are we going to do it is my question, because we don't have any evidence to suggest we can, because we don't have the experience in that latter stage where we have done so in the last couple of years. So it is a mentality situation. Can we get over the line mentally in conjunction um, with our ability of football, our defense, and of course our attack? Did we miss Gyökeres tonight? I think we did, because the playing style with Gyökeres on the field is that there is a presence with the defense, and they didn't have anything to defend. because Gyökeres will be in between the two central defenders. If he was there, then we probably would have had a different game. Um, yeah, that is what we've been saying, assembled. It was two massive points dropped. We lost those 2 points, and I think we scraped through this game. It could have been so much different if Sunderland took the chances that they had. I mean, we also had chances in first half. Eze had a chance. Trossard had a chance. Rice had a chance. I think Saka had a chance. Zubamendi had a chance. So we had chances. But we didn't take them. And I think Sunderland were very good in their defense. Like I said early on, they defend in fives and they attack in fours. So it was a total different game that we were used to, and I think we didn't prepare well in that, whereby we needed to contain them. And I think to be fair, there was nothing for VAR to be done. I didn't see anything, no controversies. There was no decisions that went either way that wasn't supposed to be. So everything was fairly officiated, and well done to the officials. We are always sometimes very quick and quick um, to criticize the officials, but there was nothing for them to do really. There was a fair game. They did their job very well. Offsides, free kicks, lineouts, corners, everything, goals. Everything was just done perfectly. So we have to big up to PGML and the officials for tonight's game. There you go. One last time to the live chat, and then I think we're gonna call it a day. Arteta makes, hi, good evening, Colin. I hope you are well, all the way from the United States. Arteta makes 1 of 5 changes when the team was visibly gassing, and at least 2 players were ineffective. Marino was a ghost. That's why I said in the last couple of minutes of the game, I think he should have maybe brought in somebody with fresh legs like a Jesus just to give him a run, or maybe a Nwaneri just to close a little bit in there. And I think that was one of the things. Again, we can't go with ifs, buts, and maybes. It's done and it's dusted, and we live on to fight another day, and we move on to the next. Mismanaged fully. I don't know. I would not say that. In hindsight, is always the unfortunate thing, Colin. So hindsight is always a bad thing. When have you seen Declan literally falling down during the game? Yeah, no, obviously he was tired. They were up and down, and it's all due to because Zubamendi couldn't do much because he was in a yellow card. So you don't want to, especially with the next game being a London derby, a North London derby, that is, you don't want to have another player miss out on that. So I think a point at this stage is something that we're gonna have to live with. It was gonna happen sooner or later, as somebody has said early on. A fat ninja has mentioned it was gonna happen sooner or later. And the first time in one game we conceded 2 goals. So it's unfortunate. Like I said again, it is a very bitter pill to swallow, but we're gonna have to live with it. It's in hindsight, and we can't always have it our way. We are supporting a team whereby we need to support them, and we need to stick by them. We are seven points clear at this stage. Tomorrow it will probably be 4. Is it 4? Yeah, 4. If not, it will be 6 again. So at the end of the day, we are there. We're going into the international break on top. Obviously with a very negative mindset, but it's up to the manager and his team to bring that fire back, that opportunity of taking every chance opportunities that we get, and obviously strengthen from there. And we do expect some players back after the international break. So we should see Noni Madueke, we should see Odegaard, we probably would see Havertz. Jesus is back in training, so we will see those players. Not sure when we will see Victor Gyökeres back, but we expecting some players to come back. And this is the last I will read out. Xhaka showed our weakness that need to be addressed quickly. And okay, which is the weakness assembled? If you can say he showed our weakness. So what was our weakness? What was our weakness up until this game? If they are the team to, if they are on the team sheet, they are good enough to make a difference. That is how Sunderland got the equalizer with a sub and in-game managerial decisions. But why would you say it's a mismanaged situation because of the subs? There's sometimes games doesn't need substitutions, but in this game you probably needed one at the last end just to have the press and rightly like you say, Declan Rice were falling around and being tired and that. Unfortunately, that is the name of the game. We were done by a very, very physical team, a team that is very mobile, very energetic. And that manager brought their team players on at the right time. Maybe we should have made another substitutions. And yes, who knows, that could have made a difference, or it could have made it worse if somebody came on. So that is always the context of the fine margin. So somebody could have come on and made a difference either way, negatively or positively. So we don't know that. So therefore, I say hindsight is a very, very a dangerous thing. The team is tired and lacking fight play. That is why we acquired team depth. Oh, for sure. But again, Colin, we don't know if somebody had come on, if they had made a difference in a positive way. He drew Zumi into a foul. He didn't need to commit. That changed the way he played. Who you talking about? Assembled. Am I missing something? Xhaka or somebody? But yeah, yeah, so at the end of the day, is we drew. We can have our opinions, but I'm going to say it again, to go as far as to say that it's Arsenal's leagues to lose, that is a very, very poor analysis of the league. We are 11 games in, and we can't go with these narratives and notions it's Arsenal's to lose. We don't know that you are right. So we don't know, but we can't make statements like it is mismanagement. Well, again, that is your opinion, Colin. Mismanagement. Unfortunately, we drew the game. We lost 2 points, 7 points clear. Let's go on to the next, and that's unfortunately the name of the game. So next week or next time we go and we fix these things, there will always be something that we are unhappy about. We made the substitutions too late, or we made it too early, or we took out this one, or we took out that one, or whatever the case may be. So there will always be something that we are unhappy about. So these guys are there, they see the need at the time, and it didn't work today. So we conceded 2 goals, and something must change, something must be fixed, and let's go back to the drawing board and fix it as soon as the next game. So, but yeah, that being said, it has been fun in the last 40 minutes. Again, subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV, hit the like, share the video, and of course, do the exact same thing to go to Guna Matters, subscribe to Guna Matters, hit the like, and let's see on the next show what Alex has planned for the future on this platform. But thank you again for watching. Thank you again for taking time out and to listen to Guna Matters, standing in for Alex on Cannon Fodder, and simultaneously streaming live on both platforms on YouTube. And thanks again for your support and your comments. Your opinions matters, and that's all we want. We can have a big boy discussion about this and that and the other, as long as we not contextualize it wrong. Johnny Price has got to give credit to Sunderland. gave you one hell of a game. No, for sure, and that is what I did in the beginning of the game. I gave them huge credit, especially the former captain and Arsenal player Granit Xhaka. He sort of instigated all the plays, and well done to Sunderland, and big ups to the PGML, because they had a very, very good game. Nothing anybody can say about the officiating tonight. So thanks again for all the goodness and all the people that has watched the live, and also those that will watch afterwards. Have your say, leave the comments in the section below, and we will respond to that. And you have watched Cannon Fodder TV, the show for Arsenal fans all over this world.